What's up, YouTube? Day 23 of the October Horror Movie Challenge. 4 films in today. A little bit better than the past couple days I've been doing. Though, of the 4 films, only one of them was probably going to be a rewatchable film. It's actually... I'll get to it, but I've seen the film before, I believe. It might have been a long time ago. It just seemed very familiar to me. Anyway, first film I watched was The Lodger, an Irish horror film. Now, Ireland only has put out a couple horror films as far as I could recall, and like a couple, like of the couple, there's been good ones. The one, The Hollowed, I really like that one. I watched it last year for the challenge, I believe. Very good horror film. I dug that one. This one was as slow as a slow burn could be. Like, there were parts where it just felt like a period piece and didn't feel like there was anything horror involved in it. But then there were other parts when they would go back to the house and everything with the whole ghost / demon / whatever in the floor. When they would get to that, it would change it up a little bit, and there'd be creepy scenes, but there's nothing that was like overly scary. I do like the whole relationship between the brother and sister, dealing with it and everything, and it has a nice little, not really a twist, but I guess it's a twist. It's decent, but it's not like anything I'm going to go out of my way to watch again. 5 out of 5. It has a couple good scares in it, but it's like nothing really crazy. The best thing about it is the acting. The acting is far and away really good for a horror film and everything. And the cinematography is real nice too. Just in the locale, like the location of this like rundown house, kind of feels like the house in whatever happened to Baby Jane, just how it's all run down and everything. Like this gothic looking house that's all beat up and run down and everything. But you know, it's something I've always seen on Netflix, and I always wanted to watch it, but I never did. And 5 out of 5 out of 10, and just nothing I'm going to probably revisit. Second film is kind of similar to that film, where it was a film I've constantly seen on Netflix, and I kept saying, oh, this looks good, I want to watch it. And for a long time, I swore the kid was Miles Teller in it, but then watching it, it's not Miles Teller. And that film is Open House. And like I said, I would keep flipping through Netflix, and I would see it, and I would want to check it out and everything. I wish I was still waiting to check it out, because it really is one of the most boring horror films I've seen in a long time. And it doesn't really pick up until probably the last 15 to 20 minutes. Like, there's a couple of scenes where it's kind of creepy, kind of, you know, there's stuff going on, but there's nothing that's really overly, like, good about it. Like, there's weird parts about it, like the kid and the mom, or they have this weird relationship and everything, and just like, you know, her thinking that he's playing these pranks on her and everything. It's very, like, it looks like it's all been done before. It looks like they took every trope possible and just threw it into this film. And then they did the biggest trope of all that I hate in all films. Like, it works sometimes, but in 90% of the films it doesn't work. When they don't explain who the killer is or why he kills, just that he goes to open houses to kill. You know, they just show it at the end where, you know, spoiler, you know, you shouldn't watch this film, but I'm going to spoil it anyway. He kills everybody and just drives to the next open house, and while he's driving, you see the sign that says open house, and he turns, and that's how the film ends. And it's just like, all right, I get, like, you're trying to show that this is just a regular person that just kills people, and this is how he chooses and everything, but it feels like such a cop-out ending, and it's not worth watching a film to get to that ending and see that. Like, you pull us in for an hour and a half, give us, like, the payoff. You know, even you don't have to explain that he's anything crazy, but first of all, they don't want to show his face or anything. You see him always in the distance, or if you see him up close, he's choking somebody so their vision's blurred. And it's just like, you made us watch an hour and a half of this boring horror film, and then that's how you reward us, by not telling us anything, just that he goes to open houses and kills people. And it just, to me, it's just a cop-out. 3 out of 10. I wish I really stayed away from it, because it just was that bad of a movie. One of the biggest duds of the October Horror Movie Challenge. Third film I watched was better, and you know, I said there was only one film I'd probably rewatch. I probably would rewatch this one. It has creepy moments. It reminds me of, well, it really doesn't, but I was gonna say, like, it's very similar in vein to I can't even think of the top of the movie off my head. Yeah, I'm messing myself up here trying to think of the name of this movie. But the movie was Last Shift, and it's better than I thought it was going to be. I thought I saw this already, but then watching, I realized I didn't. It has this cool atmosphere of, you know, this woman she's a police officer in this police station where it's their last night. All the calls have been forwarded to a different emergency relief center, and she's basically just there if anything goes through to direct them to where to go and everything. And just, you know, while these guys are also working in this building, setting up or taking everything down and everything. And, you know, of course she gets a phone call that goes through somehow, and now she's got to deal with, you know, she keeps getting these phone calls and she starts seeing stuff. And there's a couple of genuinely creepy moments. Like the one moment that was really good to me was when this other police officer comes to talk to her. And when she's talking, when she's done with the conversation, she notices something. And it's done very well. And then, you know, the whole way they go into and everything with it, it's good. The last like 10 minutes kind of hurt it. But they're not bad. It's not like where it makes it a god-awful movie. But I think it does knock it down a couple pegs. Where it was ramping up to actually be a really, really good movie, and then that kind of just beat it up a little bit at the end. And it's definitely worth a rewatch. It's got some good, it's not really gore, but you get a lot of like crime scene type gore. Like you get a lot of like stuff that like happened there, and you know the impressions are coming back to it and everything. And there's a couple, like I said, creepy moments in it. But I mean, it's nothing amazing. But if I had nothing to do and I wanted to show it to somebody or somebody wanted to check it out, I'd watch it again. So 5 out of 5 for Last Shift. The last film I watched, I might have seen this before. I might not have. There's a scene in it that really reminds me of having seen it. But the movie's Dario Argento's Tennebrae. And the scene that I remember seeing before is the scene with the Doberman Pinscher chasing the girl. I just really remember seeing that scene. And while I was watching, I kept saying, like, thinking in my head what was going to happen next. So I'm pretty sure I've seen it before, and on IMDb I had a rating in there. So I must have either seen this a long time ago and forgot like a lot of it, or I must have not really been paying attention, just caught certain scenes. Maybe it was like on TV at a party or something, or I was with friends and I was talking to them and I didn't really watch everything intently. But the one thing I like about this film is, like, this is Dario Argento going back to the Giallo. Like, he had Suspiria and Inferno in between these, but this is him going back to his roots of just the black gloves, the razor blade, the awesome, awesome music, you know, like that, just that 80s, like Italian, like synth / like, I don't know, rock music. And then you also get all the crazy shots that like Dario loves, like the one shot in the building, it follows like outside the building, and it's all going up to the different windows to show like the story as it's unfolding and everything. Just these shots that like he loves doing, and he just is one of the best at it. I mean, just like crazy shots, like Opera has that bird shot going around and everything. He just comes up with these crazy shots, and he has a good cinematographer that knows how to pull it off and everything. And that's the one thing he's good at. The other thing he's good at is just blood and gore from like slash wounds. Like, just, you know, he has this crew of people that just must know exactly, like, he explains it very well to them what he wants, or they could tell what he exactly wants, because these scenes, just like the slashes and the gore and the blood shooting out and everything, it's just like, it's not over the top like a Shaw Brothers kung fu movie where it's like spurting out, but it's like more than you would see normally, I believe. But it just, you know, it's just such a cool, like, I don't know, he does giallo so good. Like, he just, I mean, he does, up until like Opera, basically he did everything good, and then after Opera kind of all went downhill. But and he just, I don't know, just a while that he was such a good director, and it kills me to see like what he's been producing lately. Like, Dracula was horrible, Giallo was horrible, The Chess Player was horrible. I mean, at one time he was just knocking them out of the park. And this isn't as good as, like, say, Suspiria. Suspiria to me is a classic, but and it's probably even, I would say, step underneath. Like, it's definitely under Deep Red. Deep Red's actually my favorite Argento film, so it's still a step under that, as like in the slasher giallo type sense. But it has every classic element: black gloves, the music, the razor blade, you know, and just like the voice on the phone calling people and everything. And for me, Tennebrae is a 7 out of 10. I love it. Like, it's such a good film. You know, it's fun. So I mean, that's the best. And then you saw the worst of the day. I mean, mixed bag here for, you know, day 23, but pumping along. 8 more days to go. I might hit 100. I might not. I don't know.